right, cause I like your attitude. Let's forget about a curfew, cause all that is stuck in my head. It's me and you, pulse speed and my heart is racing, but I'm not sure I wanna face it, cause it only does this with you. Our bodies meet, I can feel the tension, move us into the next dimension. Let's just let our bodies be true.
Wait, did you get my engagement ring?
We make out for the
Okay.
thrill of it.
So our second trip to Seychelles was something we were looking forward to for a very long time. We were so excited that we even ended up going to the airport like 5 hours prior to our departure. Of course, we made full use of the lounge facilities, but it was still a very long night for us, considering that we left at 2:15 a.m. in the morning. We did, however, get to be rewarded by a beautiful sunrise when we arrived on Mahe Island, which is the main island in Seychelles. And from there we made our way to our resort, which was is the nicest place that I have ever stayed at. Probably because Paula chose it. Everybody knows that when I choose accommodation for myself, it's usually just a box with a bathroom. This went beyond a box with a bathroom. It's a really, really beautiful resort. It had everything you could want, from spa to hiking trails to beautiful beach. There's no shortage of things for us to do there if we just wanted to stay there. The suite itself is beautiful, and we were about 200 meters away from the beach and even closer to the actual pool, which was great. So the first day we were there, I had this bright idea to go and watch the sunset, as you do. Of course, we were very, very tired because, as I said, it had been a long night for us and Polo was asleep. To get him to wake up takes a good 45 minutes. So we were delayed. And then there was this amazing sunset spot that the guy at the resort told me about when we checked in. And he told us how to get there. So we had to take a buggy and then we had to climb up this steep hill. And so we wait for the buggy and we're waiting and waiting and waiting. And we're thinking, is this actually gonna come? And I can see the sun kind of setting in the distance. And the buggy eventually comes and he drops us off at this no man's land. And then we have to walk up the steep hill. And I'm like, okay, we're gonna make it. And we get to the top and we discover two things. There's just an immense amount of cloud cover, so we can barely see any sun at all. And we have actually interrupted two things: a romantic picnic for these newlyweds, and then another bunch of newlyweds who were doing a photo shoot. And then there's us. And then it started to rain. And the moral of the story is that we did not see any sunset that day. So we wanted to do this island hopping tour, but we didn't actually think about what it entailed. And what it did entail was a very, very long day. We started our day at 6 a.m. when we left our resort. We drove an hour to Victoria, which is where the port is, and you catch the boat from there. You go over to Praslin Island. The whole journey took another hour. It was just an endless amount of commuting on different forms of transportation. Praslin is really beautiful. Like, you'll see the scenery as we were driving through. It's not a walkable place at all. You definitely need to be driving there. And we visited this place called Valle de Mai, which is basically this lush jungle. There's all the coconut trees. It's like you're in your own forest. We only spent about 45 minutes there. Probably could have spent longer, but we were on this tour and we had to keep to the times. From there we went to the beach. Oh my God, the beach was amazing, despite the fact that I lost my sunglasses in the ocean. Then I found my sunglasses in the ocean. This all happened in like a 5-minute time period. The beach is really, really beautiful. Like, I could have stayed there easily the whole day. I was really disappointed when we had to actually leave. At this point, I was kind of rethinking why we did the tour, because I felt really rushed, like we just got to the beach and then we had to pack up and leave. So that was like the first time in the day when I started having misgivings. And then we caught the boat, went to La Digue. I just want to note that if you are going from Mahe to La Digue, even if you don't want to disembark at Praslin, you have to change boats, because there's two separate boats. It's Mahe to Praslin, Praslin to La Digue. So you have to get off and change boats. We went to La Digue. It was only a 15-minute boat ride, thank goodness. And La Digue is stunning. Like, I thought Praslin was beautiful, and then we went to La Digue and I'm like, oh wow, okay. So yeah, I highly recommend La Digue. And a whole lot of unnecessary things happened, like as part of our tour, like looking at coconuts and talking about oxen, looking at some house where some pornographic movie was shot. I don't know what that was about. And eventually we went to the beach in La Digue, and it is the beach from all the alcohol adverts. And you know, all the adverts with people partying on the beach, that's where it's shot. It's shot at that particular beach in La Digue. And if you read my blog post, then it's where I give the names of the beach. I don't want to say them because they're French and I'll butcher it. Yeah, we spent a good 2 hours there before the heavens opened up and it started pouring. When it rains in the Seychelles, it pours like sheets. So yeah, I mean, going to the two beaches, the one on Praslin and the one on La Digue, made the whole excursion worthwhile. The only problem was that we now had to go back to Mahe. After all day out and about in the sun, we had to begin this long journey back. We had to take this 15-minute boat back to Praslin, disembark, wait to embark on the next boat back to Mahe. We get on the boat, we're given outdoor seating. The heavens open up again, we're in the middle of the ocean. The boat is going like this. It's like a bad movie. Like you see the stuff in the movie, those pirate movies, and you know, you think those people are so weak because they're throwing up, and all I could think about was throwing up at that point. And I've never, ever vomited like on a boat before. And the people, so there's a lot of local people on the boat because it's actually a commuter boat as well, taking people between the islands. So all the Seychellois people are there and all of them are drinking, and this is just the best time that they're having at the end of a long working week because it was a Friday. And every time the boat would kind of dip and I thought, this is it, I'm going to vomit, the people on the boat would start screaming out of sheer enjoyment and drinking more. Would I do this tour again? No, not because I didn't like the tour company. Mason's Travel was very professional. You get what you pay for, and we got a lot of good information from the guide. But I think that we shouldn't have stopped at Praslin at all, to be honest. We should have just gone to La Digue and spent the whole day there. And Praslin is like a 2 to 3 day stay on its own. That's my personal opinion. I talk more about this in detail in my blog post. So if you are planning a trip to Seychelles, it is something worth reading. And if you are thinking about doing this tour and you're undecided, then I do think that you should definitely read my review on this trip to Praslin Island and La Digue. So do check out my blog posts on Seychelles. I went last year, August, and I wrote a post about why people should travel to the Seychelles. I also did a detailed cost breakdown of the prices of things in the Seychelles. And in this post, I talk specifically about visiting Praslin and La Digue Islands. So head over to www.expatpanda.com and give those posts a read.
Let's just do what you want to. Please don't be polite, cause I like your attitude. Let's forget about a curfew, cause all that is stuck in my head. It's me and you, pulse speed and my heart is racing, but I'm not sure I wanna place it, cause it only does this with you.